check this out. Afternoon all. With a bit of good news. So yeah, really good news. I managed to persuade someone to keep the combine shed on. Basically, the person that we sort of like have a bit of a co-partnership going on. Sort of I do work for him, and he sort of provides stuff for me. Managed to get him to agree to keep in the shed, and that big combine shed that that the Europa was in. So good news that is, because it means that I don't have to get rid of any combines. Because really, if I was going to lose that storage, I know I was a little bit worried about it. I was going to have to choose one of the combines to have to go, because I couldn't. This farm here hasn't got enough space to keep them really, and I would have had to have either let one sit outside, which I didn't really want to do because it's the hassle of having to sheet them up and that, and I don't like doing that really. I used to do it years ago because I had to, but I'd rather just find somebody good to it to go to. But anyway, the good news is we get to keep these three Gleaners. Well, there's 4 in here actually. One of them isn't mine. So this one, this big C is half mine and half someone else's. So the lad who lives on the farm, it's half his. He owns this one now. So I'm going to buy his share out of that one, and then and he's going to invest the money in this one. So yeah, we're actually going to, well, he's going to cut some grass seed in a couple of weeks, and if it goes well, we got a 10 acres of grass seed to cut, and I'm gonna, if it works, I'm gonna get my little Model A, my little humpback Model A, to cut it. So he's gonna use this one, this square back one, and I'm gonna use a little humpback A. I think I might use the C, but I think probably the little A would probably be better at it. I think be more easy to handle in the field. Unfortunately, well, certainly it's just part of the thing of having a small of having any combine. This one has got some kind of hydraulic problem, so they all need a little bit of work doing to them. Really, this one needs the most this time round. It's done, it's done a lot of work over the last few years. There's hydraulic leak back, so the header's dropping when we're working. So there's something wrong in here that I need to look at. So I need to clean all that off and look at that. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I think that one of the bearings has gone in that main shaft on this side, because it makes a bit of a noise. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, it was making a bit of a noise. Oh, it's them pegs down there. Yeah, okay, that's not too bad. But also, I did notice that the clutch was slipping a bit. So the dreaded clutch on these is a hideous thing to do. So yeah, you have to actually, I'll speak to my mate, he's done it before. You can take the whole gearbox out, but for some reason they put it, and they've put this in the way. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to have to cut this out and then weld it back in again if I do it. Yeah, a bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. If it needs doing, it needs doing. The annoying thing is, advice, don't ever take advice, because they're all usually wrong. I listened, I shouldn't never listen to them, I should have just done it. But ages ago, I had that clutch whole setup. I mean, you're going back 2018, 2019 now, when it was COVID lockdown and all that rubbish. And I had it all out, and I could have had the clutch reline then. And the old boy was like, this lad I know, and he was a clever bloke, he knew his stuff, and there's no doubt about it. That's why I listened to him. But he was, he knew he could do some pretty nifty stuff with cars and tractors and that, engines especially, And he said, don't bother doing it, because he'll probably be alright. Well, it looks like it isn't all right a couple of years later, and I could have done with doing that really. But there you go. It's just a job that, you know, it would have been easy to do it then, and now I've got to do it, and I've got, you know, I've got to mess about cutting. The whole gearbox was out, you see, everything, the whole front was out, and it would have just been easy. But there you go, never mind. What's done is done. And then, this one I've had for years. There's nothing wrong with this that hasn't been wrong with it. This one behind me with the humpback, I've had this not longer than I've been alive, but over half my life. So I'm 19 when I got it, 40 now. I've had it all them years, and it's always had low oil pressure in the engine, and all I do is put oil thickener in it, and that's all I've ever done. And the hydraulic pump is slow to lift. Don't know why it does it on this one, because this isn't the original pump either. In fact, that the pump and the resi, it all come off of a very late 4-cylinder Model A, and funnily enough, it works much better than the original, because the original used to let the header drop. The valve block, do you know what? It used to let the header drop. I reset the valve block, cleaned it all up, put new seals in it and everything, refurbed it, and then I put backup washers in to heighten the pressure of the springs. And so what did it do? It cooked the pump, and it overheated the pump because obviously there was too much pressure. But this is a better setup altogether. But it's different pump, like I say. It still doesn't lift very quickly like the first one didn't. I don't know, it's one of those things. But I don't think I'll be bothering to do that this year. But what I will do on all of them, not the C, because that's been done, but all three, these two, my ones, and this one I'll get to do it as well. I help him. I've agreed to help him do all the work on this one. Is change the oils and service the engines on them. So I think that's going to be what I've agreed to do with this. With this one is help him out with all the work that he's doing to it. You know, when I can, I'll come down and help him out and get it nice. So yeah, you know, there ain't a massive amount to do to them really, but obviously we've got 4 combines, we've got a fair bit to do. They're going to stay here until I know if I've got more work to do. If there's more work to do, like I say, we've got some clover seed to cut or whatever it is, grass seed. But if I've got another job somewhere else, I'll take them down there and do them. But I'm going to come one night, when I've got nothing to do, I'm going to come grease them all, oil the chains and get them ready so that they're ready to go if they need to be. And then they're ready for storage then, basically. In that sense, they've been greased and oiled, which I always do that to the chains and the grease nipples before I put them away. But then if we don't use them again, each one's going to be one by one took outside, blown clean down, sieves out, wood preservative put on the Model A sieves because they're wooden, metal preservative put on the C sieves, and then wax oil sprayed throughout the machine, everywhere. And then they're ready for storage, basically. And that's another year over, unfortunately, which is a shame, really, because I like this time of year. The C, there's a couple of little tweaks we've got to do, see how we get on. Nothing really that bad, I don't think. I mean, to be honest, it's fine the way it is, but there's a couple of electrical problems on the engine, but this auger's bent slightly, but it doesn't seem to cause us that much issue, to be honest. It hasn't really been a problem, but there's a spare auger there that we could rebuild and put in it if we get time. But I think that will be a job that we'll just do if we get time to do it. I'm gonna one night when I'm home, I'm gonna, when I get a chance, I will write up, basically once harvest's over, I'll do this. I'm going to write up a priority list of jobs. I'm going to check over each combine properly when we get them ready for storage, and write notes and talk to my mate and see what he thinks as well. Write notes and write a list of priority jobs. I mean, there'll be a long list of jobs that we could potentially do, and we'll prioritise them, and we'll start from the top and work down. And you know, if we get to the bottom, we get to the bottom, but I seriously doubt it, because it's a lot of work. Like the engine on this humpback could do with being rebuilt like we did with this one this year, but it's been like that for all this time. But like I say, I am very, very happy that I've managed to seal this agreement. It's, yeah, it's a fantastic thing. Yeah, very good. I'm really glad that I get to keep these machines. I'd really struggled to sell one of them. I think like, I wouldn't mind buying other combines, but these three are the keepers. So buying and selling, I'll buy a combine, I'd do it up, use it like I did with that class, buy it, use it and sell it. Yeah, and then you can get it I can take it to a show, different combine to a different show, you know, just random things. Random different combines, it doesn't really matter what it is. I'm Massey, I'd have anything within reason, you know, Massey 780, you know, that'd be a nice thing to have in a sense, and learn about it and play about with it. Take it to a show and let people see it, and then, yeah, no doubt somebody will see it and say, yeah, go on, I'll have that. And I'm hoping to build up in this area an amount of old combines. Good quality old combines in original condition that go out to local farms in the hope that those local farmers would let us have a working day where they can all be there. You see, I can't keep all of the combines, but if I sort of got them running and everything and got them to a reasonable standard and then moved them on to a local farmer and hopefully make an agreement with him that I could take them to a show, get them to a show. And I think having a nice vintage working event with 3 or 4 different combines in the field each year, or, you know, varying, you know, depending on how many we've got in the area, obviously, but 3 or 4 different combines, that'd be nice to see, I think, and it's worth the effort for, you know, we're cutting the crop we need to cut anyway, and then people can come and enjoy seeing it being cut. So, yeah, altogether, pretty good day anyway. I had a bit of a hideous one. My van is, well, it's not very well. It hasn't been well for a while, to be honest. But I've took it off the road now because it needs a timing chain. You can hear the timing chains rattling, and I don't want it to go and break and me be stuck without a vehicle. In fact, stuck without a van without an engine, because it would knacker the engine. So what I'm going to do is it's going to be off the road for a minute until I've finished, everything's done with harvesting. I've got some time, and I'm going to get it in the workshop at work and absolutely blitz it. That engine is going to be sweet when I've done it. I'm not going to cut any corners. It's going to be right. It's going to be done properly. Going to, you know, like I say, put a new head gasket. Like I say, it does need a timing chain, but I'm going to do the head gasket anyway because I'm suspecting it's broken, and I might as well do them at the same time because you've got to take all the front off anyway, and you've got to take all the timing chain off to do the head gasket. So while the timing chain's off, I might as well do the head gasket and get it over and done with, and yeah, and see what else needs doing. Put all that together, get that nicely settled up, and then find whatever else I find, sort it. Because that van's a nice van, really, and I think a good overhaul I'll be better off, because my thought, in a sense, I was almost going to get it towed away, because it was doing my head in, it was, and I'm just fed up of it flipping causing me problems. But it just needs a flipping thorough overhaul over winter. So I borrowed, so somebody's lent me a car, so I'll just go about in that in a minute. But yeah, so I have neglected that van a bit because I got a bit fed up with having to fix it all the time, but it's just because it got behind with stuff. It just needs a thorough overhaul. I'm going to flip and weld the chassis if it needs it. I'm going to clean off all the rust and crud off of it. I'm going to repair a few bodywork issues where I've had little nicks, a couple of little dings that need sorting out. Get it all sorted out properly. A nice paint job as well. Not complete paint jobs, but just get the rust and that done on it. And then hopefully as well, I'm hoping to acquire a car. I don't need nothing special, just a car to get me around, and then the van can just be for special occasions and flipping hold all my tools and that. But yeah, well done. Catch you next time. Hopefully, won't be too long. Hopefully somebody lets me drive an old combine or something. But yeah, we'll see. See you later. Just thought I'd add a little bit. I'm going to take a photo for the cover of the video, and I'll just come up here just to take a photograph of these combines from up here. I'll try not to fall off. Not very often you get a view like that of a combine. It's not very often you get to see 4 old combines like this in a shed either. It's got a good old view. There you go, hope you like that. I like looking at them too. Alright, see you later. Sorry about the camera footage. I keep looking at it myself instead of looking at the camera, sorry. Did it again. Serious amount of dust coming off it. Look at it, it's disappeared in the dust. Wow, could sit here and wait for it to come back round, but nah, not tonight. I'm not forgetting getting home and getting an early night, to be honest. So yeah, I'll catch you again. See you later. So I lied, I'm still here and it's coming back, so I'm going to do it. It come back quicker than I was expecting. It took ages getting up there for some reason, but it's coming back this way quicker. That one I showed you at the beginning of the video is a 770. This is a 780. The motor is this. The 770 is the smaller one, obviously, it's a smaller number. But the 780 is the biggest one they did, I think. It might have been a 790, but I don't think so. I'll try not to lose focus this time. Mate, look at it go. All that dust, man. You just wouldn't want to be without a cab, would you, with that thing? You just couldn't do it. Crazy. Look at it go. Absolutely hammering through it. Ridiculous. This one's got like a power flow elevator. There's a rabbit or something running up now, or a hare. It's just gone back in the crop. That was the wrong thing to do. You're going to witness the murder of a rabbit in a minute. See, the head is so big that you're almost not cutting the crop in the middle by the look of it. You've got the edges digging in. The rabbit was about there, so whoops. Nearly finished the field. We finished this field in under an hour probably. Nuts. Really crazy. Crazy stuff. Right, well done. Thanks for staying with me. Right, so yeah. See you again.